Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Makeup Madness. If you want to see how I achieve this look, then stick around to the end of this video. Okay, so I've already went ahead and moisturized my face, so now it's time for priming. And I'm going to be using the Elegant primer, of course. There was no tutorial on how to apply your primer, so I'm just going to apply it the way that I normally do. And I'm just going to blend it in basically with my hands. When I apply my primer, I try to put it on every surface that I know that I'll probably want to put any form of makeup. So that comes from my neck, up my eyelids, under my eyelids, everything. I don't know if that's the right technique, at least that's my technique. For foundation, I'm going to be using Spencer's method, and he said cream foundations, which is the one that I'm using the Arista cream foundation in the shade Espresso. He said with a sponge, he didn't say if it was damp or dry, so I'm just going to use a dry sponge. He said when you apply it to the skin, you're going to go ahead and do it in rolling, pressing motions. I feel like I put way too much. I was also told that the area that you place first is the area that's going to get the most foundation, so you should target the parts that you want the most coverage. I feel like I want the most coverage on the outside of my face, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm really pressing hard. I don't know if I should be pressing as hard as I am. I'm trying not to go under my eye, and I'm bringing it down to my neck. He says once your foundation is dry, you're gonna go ahead and set it with your pressed powder. So I'm gonna be using the LA Colors Mineral Pressed Powder. I saw him use a brush, so I'm gonna go ahead with my brush, knock off the excess, and I'm gonna lightly dab it in. I'm gonna start applying from the inside of my face and dragging it outward, and I'm gonna do this for my entire face. So this is what the base is looking like, fully set with the powder. I must say it does look quite flawless. He said to apply powder in places where you shine the most, so that's what I did. Although my face still has that glow from the moisturizer, but I gotta say, it looks good. Now let's move on to concealer. For concealer, we're going to be using Addie's method. I hope that I'm saying it right. He said to not put the concealer directly under your eye, but on the back of your hand. He said to add in a bit of your liquid foundation, but I don't have a liquid foundation, so I don't know how would I add my cream in here, but I'm going to add like a dab of it on the side. So this is like them side by side. He said to use a eyeshadow brush, although his brush was more dense and smaller, but this is like the concealer brush that I use. And I'm going to go ahead and mix them together. So this is how it looks on my brush. And he said, press the concealer under your eye. Oh my god, that feels so wet. I definitely feel like I should use a more dense brush because I feel like this is kind of giving me some type of streakiness. I'm gonna go do this on the other side. There's a lot on my brush, so I'm not even going back in the concealer. I'm just kind of using the excess. He said don't touch it to let it dry, and until it dries, we're gonna move on to the next step. I'm gonna highlight the rest of my face, so I'm gonna be using NATORI's her concealer placement. I'm gonna take the concealer at the back of my hand, my brush, and I saw that she does it like on the edge of her nose here, above her mouth. I actually like this because I feel like I instantly blend the concealer. I'm kind of dragging it up to the placement of the concealer under my eyes. Try my best not to interfere with the concealer under my eyes. I'm gonna take some on my chin. I'm really like dabbing, I'm not dragging it. But this whole section of my face looks so freaking bright. I still have some excess on my hand, so I'm gonna just place it on my forehead. I saw that she also does a streak on her nose. I'm gonna need a bit more concealer for that. Little line. I'm just gonna do it straight down the middle. Okay, so I think my concealer has dried enough, and what he said was so funny. What he said to like squint your eyes and smile and look to see if there's any like concealer falling in your crease, and that should tell you like, okay, there's excess, to get it out. Now I don't see any, which means I did good. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a sponge though, and I'm just gonna slightly dab it in, especially on the edges, because I can see that there's a harsh line of concealer, and I don't want that. I think so far, like this base, 18. Now it's time to set our under eyes, so I'm gonna go in with a brush. I saw a lot of people use loose powder, but I have pressed powder, so what I like to do, I like to really get it in. I knock off the excess, move it out on the back of my hand, and then I'm gonna like dab it in under my eye. This looks so freaking sick, like the difference, bro. I'm gonna bring it like down to the lower parts of my face, so like, and this is the face fully like set with the powder. The base is basing. What the fuck? I realized that y'all are not seeing how the base is eating because the lighting is so poor. So I'm lower than my window, so I don't get the natural lighting, but look at that. And why is my hand over my eyes so red though? Like, there's nothing on top of my eyes and it's so freaking red. It's crazy. But let's move on to the next step. So normally if you're doing contour or like bronzer, you would already have done this step. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go straight into blush. But because I want to do Jackie Aina's best advice, where you blend your blush into your eyelids, I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyelids. So I'm gonna use the same like concealer that I use under my eyes, and I'm just gonna put a little bit on it, and I'm just gonna quickly blend this. Also, can't remember who said this. She said to, I think it was Ilani, but she said to set your eyelids with your powder. And I've never actually done it, and I've never actually thought of doing that. And I was like, oh, that was such a game changer, but that's what I'm gonna do. So, okay, and we're back. Now for the blush, we're gonna be using Addy's method again. And he uses a cream blush first on his blush brush. I don't have a smaller blush brush, but I do have my big dense one that I like to use. So what he did, he applied something. Now I learned the hard way, this blush is really pigmented, so I'm gonna, like, you see that, I'm gonna knock off and like kind of like even it out on the brush. Then I saw like he dabbed 1 2 3 4. He said take it from above. So like imagine like concealer here, your contour or your bronzer will be like here, so your blush should be like above, so like here. So, oh, I think I maybe knocked off a little bit too much of the cream. So I'm going to go back in with it, try to get it out, and just, okay, not bad, period. Okay, so this is what the blush is looking like right now. I like to put a little bit on my nose just to like bring out the sheerness. I'm gonna clean up the back of my hand because the back of my hand is crazy right now. And we're gonna go ahead and set this blush with a powdered blush. I found myself really loving this shade of blush, this Rum Spice blush by LA Colors. But because I have such a rosy pink blush, I'm gonna try to get like a rosy pink blush from my You Make Me Blush Romantic Flower palette. This is like literally a drugstore palette that I just grabbed. So I'm gonna try to maybe get a shade that's like the closest to what I already have on my face, and I'm thinking it's the middle shade, right? I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna dab it, knock off the excess, even it out at the back of my hand, and I'm just gonna set it. The makeup is so freaking eating. I will show you in the better lighting, but for now, I just want y'all to know this looks so good. This is what the face is looking like right now. The little red on my nose is so cute. I'm gonna go ahead with the same rosy color in the middle, and I'm just gonna go like in the crease and then like kind of blend it out just above my brow. And what this does, or what I've been told it does, is like create this seamless look of colors all over your face. Shout out to Jackie Aina, because ever since I learned this, I have not done it differently. I have not gone another way. And I just think this brings a little bit of warmth and rosiness to my face, because I love blush. I love the girly pop look. I'm also going to take this darker shade here just to give it a little bit of dimension, and I'm going to go under and blend. I'm not going too crazy because it's not really eyeshadow. I'm just trying to make the seamless look of colors on my face. Now we're moving on to brows, and for my brows I'm gonna be using Vanessa's technique. She uses an eyebrow pen. I don't have that. I only use eyebrow pencils. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna shape my brows to what I want it to be. She said to follow the shape of your eyebrows. Technically that is what I always do, and I don't have any hairs on my eyebrows. This is literally like kind of the natural shape of my eyebrows. The most I do is pluck underneath. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my pencil, and instead of like coloring it in like I normally do, I'm gonna try to do like strokes, fill in the gaps. I guess this would work way better if you actually had the pen, but I don't. Okay, so this is what the first brow is looking like, fully filled in, and this is what the second brow is looking like, not filled in yet. Now, I saw that she does her brow gel afterwards. Normally, I do my brow gel first, so she then goes with her spoolie into her brow gel, and she just kind of slicks it down. She has a spatula, but I don't have one, so I'm gonna use like on my flat brush, and she says just press it down like you're doing a brow lamination. Okay, so these are what the brows are looking like. They look scary, but we'll fix it eventually. We're gonna go with concealer under the eyes. Everybody does that. I'm gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand, and thank God that she uses the brush that I use, because I see everybody using the flat brush. I don't have a flat brush. I have like a round edge brush. This is like how my brush is on the end, but that's what she uses, thank God. So I'm gonna really coat it, because I saw that she really heavily coated hers, and I'm gonna carve under my brow. She starts from the very edge and she drags. I feel like I'm so much better at copying other people's technique than figuring it out on my own. And thankfully, she does the top of the brow like I do, because a lot of people don't do that. She said that she uses a concealer that's darker. I don't have any concealer that's darker. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a dab of my foundation in it, create that darker shade. Look at me, the lab. And I'm gonna go and carve the top of my brow. Okay, and this is what the first brow is looking like, carved out without any blending. Let me do the other side. For the blending, she said you can go ahead and clean up the front. So dragging the concealer down the middle. And under, we're going to blend it downwards. I have a bit of excess, so I'm going to clean that up and drag it downwards. It's going to blend into that beautiful blush that we put there. And for the upper concealer, upwards and out. And I'm going to take my foundation sponge and I'm going to dab it so that it can blend into my foundation. Then she said for the front of the brows, to soften it, you're going to use a skin tone powder and you're just going to like buff the front of the brow. She used a way smaller brush than this, so I'm going to try to use my little eyeshadow brush. And I'm just going to try to buff it out. So I think this is where I'm stopping. This is what my full face would normally look like. These are the brows. I love them. They're cute. They're very, very laminated. The camera doesn't really show like how like actually sharp it is, but I will give you a final view of the back camera. But for now, let's go ahead and just do a simple lip. So this is like my favorite lip combo. So brown lip liner at the bottom and at the top. I like to overline a little bit. I'm thinking of trying this lip gloss. It's Clean Color. I don't know what brand this is, but this was a gift from a friend. It's really dark, so I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna... Okay, cute. And I think it goes well with my outfit now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set it. I'm gonna take my Spice Rum. I'm gonna take a fluffy eyeshadow brush, and I'm gonna... This is my way of turning like a very bright, sticky lipstick into like a nice matte, silent lipstick. Yeah, and then even after all that, I'm gonna take just a basic lip gloss and I'm just gonna go over it. I don't rub my lip glosses together. I just go top and bottom. And yeah, this is my lip combo. So this is the full face. I think we should add in some lashes. Okay, so lashes are on. This is the final face. I'm going to go ahead and set all these powders with the J2 setting spray. I probably should have done that like a hell of a long time ago, but once this is dried down, I'm going to go ahead and fix it with the Reddish fixing spray. I'm going to hold my breath for this one. Shit. And this is the completed full face of makeup using my favorite makeup influencers techniques. Definitely love. Definitely will probably stick to this type of routine. You let me know, is this better than my previous makeup looks or is this just about the same? Because I feel like I already kind of used the techniques. Here is the makeup with the back camera. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you guys next Monday. Bye.